Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm here with Dungeon Meshi episode number 9 reaction. So the previous episode, the part of the previous episode was a little bit of a recollection between Falin and Martial and how they met. They met at like an academy. They were like, students over there. And we got to see that it was actually Falin who was the one who took Martial to the dungeon at the beginning, and how they kind of became friends after that. And Martial realized that there's a lot of things that she has to get practical experience in. Like, she had the dream of making the dungeon a safe place. However, she realized when she went to the dungeon that if she tried to put change into the dungeon like normal ecosystem, it's going to mess it up. So she kind of realized that, and she and Fallon became friends. And then the second part was the part where Marcel accidentally just put hot boiling water on top of an Undine, and that Undine went crazy, started attacking. Marcel gets hurt. However, her party saves her, and then they have a barbecue. Obviously, to to get more blood into her, because of the iron content. And yeah, it was fun in the end. But yeah, let us see what happens in today's episode 9. Let's get started. I'll be putting the subtitles and the timer here. Sync it to whichever is your preference, and let's begin. All right, here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh yeah, another thing. I think that girl is coming. The one who left the party. I think we're like our group will probably meet her in today's episode because we saw her coming down the stairs of the dungeon. This girl. Hmm. Here we go. Oh, yep. They're here. Okay, I feel like she should recognize them. There you go. Yep. Namari, that's her name. Yeah, just like that, you left us, and now Mr. Sans. Oh, Marcel's gonna be pissed. Yep. Yeah. Bro, when she saved you, she was the one who saved you guys. Bruh. How can. Okay, whatever. Well, we can give you food. Good God, these people. Oh, they're gnomes. Oh, I see. I guess it makes sense. Indian gnome, you know. Oh my god, it'd be hilarious if they attacks. If Undian attacks. Oh, this is hilarious. Oh! Yo, this guy's trash. What the hell? Oh my god. Absolute garbage. Still, like, oh my god, I don't like him. This is I don't like him. I can see his point. Yeah, exactly. I can see why he's saying that. And at the same time, it's going to make people like this who's going to take death as very something lightly. Yeah, it is not normal. Enchantment. Oh, wow, that is interesting. It's just shackling the death is forbidden. Wait, so if we die outside, we'll die? It's a weird thing to say, but bro, you just said that Undine, you can take care of Undine, and literally went there like an absolute idiot, and now you're blaming her. Like he was the one who got overconfident and said, "Oh, I can take care of the Undine." Oh, this has an interesting thing inside of it. Oh my god, yo, look at that. Hmm. So she's like a like blacksmith. Oh, something's happening. There's something coming. I love how Laios' sword has a person like a radar, literally monster radar. Ah, my spidey senses, you know. Yeah, don't. Oh my god, this guy is. Bro, shut up. Let him do his job. He's more accustomed to like you know. Oh my god, this guy's gonna get us killed again. This freaking old man. Great job. And not this guy, bro. Like this guy is an absolute garbage. Shut the hell up. You do it. He was again. He's the one that. Why? Oh my god, bruh. Shut the hell up. Oh my god, I hate this guy. What an absolute joke. This is the first time I'm seeing him without his helmet. He's like, I don't know. Oh, he's probably going to. He's probably planning to eat the tentacles, I feel like. Oh no. Midsection. Oh yeah, I gotta. That's our dinner for today. Okay. Right. Oh, did you get it? Nice. Yeah, so he targeted the crossbow, and that's how. Okay, good plan. Yeah, he had his armor. I think he's fine. What happened? What happened to his face? They're not showing their faces, so it's probably that bad. Oh, okay. All right. I knew he was. Oh my god, his hand. That's our dinner. Vinegar. Okay. Oh no. Hey yo. Then we can cook it. Looks like a banana. The fuck? Yes. We can cook this. Really? Yeah. She's like, the hell is this? Yeah. Bruh. Naman is probably like, oh, thank God I actually, thank God I actually left the party. Otherwise, okay, are these two like they're children or something? They're very like caring of them. Okay, bruh. Mm. The first time, probably because of her proficiency in using weapons, maybe. The way she's saying that. Oh boy. Yeah. Mm. No, he's not. I don't think there's any leader in our group. I guess Laios, kind of. Well, she dropped boiling water on his head. Bruh. Typical of an elf. Tiny spirits. Oh. Oh. We have to wait for a week? What? It'll be too late. Yeah, like Falin is getting digested now. Yeah, but we'll have to stay here. We need to do something. Why? Oh, that's true. But she wants to say Fallen, you know? Mm, yeah. Yeah, like, it'll be a problem. Yeah. Or he'll tell her to go with them. Mm. Oh, yeah. Wow, that's why he. Okay. Oh, I see. That's what's going to happen. Yeah, but it'll also reduce all. Yeah, and that as well. What? I drink. What? That's going to bring her mana back? Yeah. I see. That's how. That's how she's planning to get back the. Okay. Yeah, how? We're not even able to defeat it. Eat? No. Uh, Lick it? Yeah, okay. Bruh. Yeah. What? Uh, yeah. Wait, is it like made of like titanium or something? I don't know. Ah. It is like made from some kind of material, I'm guessing. Adamantine. Okay. Bro. Wait, really? Oh, that was actually a shield. Yeah, it will. Yeah, we can do that. But who's going to tie the bell around the cat's neck? Yeah, he has his sword, but defensive wise, a little bit difficult. Oh god. Yeah, Laios is definitely going to struggle with this. Oh. Oh, grab the pot. No. The pan. Yeah. Okay. Damn. But it's adamantine. We need to we need to heat it now. Damn. Damn. It's so hot. That means that their hands are also burning. You can see them turn red. The hands. It's over. And now we can drink it. Yeah. Almost. Yes. It's literally a mana potion. You know, she's drinking and she's going to. Ah. Need to drink a lot. Let's cook the tentacle. Yeah. I knew they're going to use the tentacle today. Okay. Hmm. Okay, that's how. So we're going to literally cook it in the water of the Undine. Oh, is getting absorbed properly? Yes, it's literally, like I think Nikujaga, yeah. Hmm. Oh, so more tentacles? Yeah. Namar is like, what is this even? You're cooking tentacles and kelpies? Oh boy. Okay, nice. It's working. Yeah, it's tasty, you know. Come on, it tastes good, you know. Oh, wow, they changed the whole. That is hilarious. The way they were showing at the beginning was like it's like all dull and everything, but then when she eats it, you're like, ah, it's fine. Yeah, yeah. He just wants to cook and. Mm, then what about the? The taste is odd. Hmm. Okay. Yeah, I was wondering why did he stay? Now that's also all well, like true. Oh yeah, that guy, the samurai guy. Wait, what? Why did he leave us then? Hmm. Okay, that is it. Hmm. And that is it. Okay, that was today's episode. This was episode number 9. Yeah. Okay, so today's episode was getting to meet Namari properly. We saw her before a little, not that much, but today was like a proper introduction. And yeah, we got to meet her properly. We fought the Undine. We cooked the Undine and got uh, Marcel's mana back, and that's how it went. So, first of all, this guy, this old man, in the end, he kind of he kind of was okay, but at the beginning he was being a complete just like a, what can I say, like first of all the whole thing with him using Namari as a shield. Now I can understand, obviously he is someone who can use resurrection magic, and death in this world is something that is taken very lightly, which is something that is obviously going to not sit well with people like us, who knows that once you die it's over. So the way these people treat death is sometimes so casual and so just like whatever. It's sometimes it's just so weird. So I can understand, like I can understand like what Senshi said here. Like I can completely agree with Senshi here. Senshi says that this thing is abnormal. What you guys do, how you treat death just because you guys can resurrect, yourself. That is not normal, and that is why he dislikes stuff like resurrection magic, because when like we shouldn't treat death this casually as if it's like an everyday happening. And I feel like that is something that probably didn't sit well with me, and I'm pretty sure it will probably not sit well with a lot of people who's watching this show. That is why especially that old man, the way the thing that he did there was so outrageous. I was actually pissed. seeing the way he just literally made Namari into a shield, and like she gets shot in the head. So that is why it's just a difference in the way you like view certain concepts in this world. In the dungeon, at least, death doesn't have any meaning unless and until your body gets completely destroyed or digested. You can bring people back, and that is why people, especially who can use resurrection magic, treat death as like a just something very normal, and uses it so frivolously. And that's exactly why he, who can use resurrection magic, he treated that whole situation in such a light manner. He literally like made Namari into a shield to protect himself, and he's like, oh, I can just bring her back, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's just a way of looking at different concepts, and how it differs. So I can see that. But then the next thing is also something that I didn't really like about him at the beginning: the way he doesn't listen to people. I guess like he's an old man, I guess that's why he's probably just, whatever. But he doesn't listen. At first of all, he didn't listen to Marcel, even when Marcel was like, oh no, like the Undine is like, difficult. He's like, oh, I can take care of it, like I'm a gnome, I know what to do, this and that. And I can understand if the Undine was in a normal situation, if it was like just not enraged, he probably would have been able to do something about it. But it wasn't. It was enraged at that moment. That is why it didn't even listen to him. And even though we said it to him, we told him that, come on, man, like it's bad out there. He didn't listen to us. He probably just brushed it aside, thinking that, oh, these young people don't know what they're saying. I can take care of it. And this attitude is also something that doesn't sit like it didn't sit well with me at the beginning. I was like, what the hell? Like, first of all, you didn't listen to them. You went in and then you literally made Namari into a shield. But then again, yeah, like people like there are people like these people, like like especially people who are um like at an higher age, who has a lot more experience. They act like this, just dismiss what other people say, especially if the people that are saying them are younger than them. They dismiss it as if like, oh, what is this like little kid saying? I have so much experience, I know what I'm doing. This kind of attitude, like, no, this is a dungeon. This is not like a like your like this is not your like neighborhood playground that you can do whatever the hell you want to. Here, death, again, I was going to say, like, like you can die, but again, death doesn't really mean anything here. Like, that's the thing, that's the main thing. Like, these people treat everything so lightly because death doesn't mean anything here. And like, and you can see he's someone who can use resurrection magic. That's exactly why he's become like this, just completely like careless about stuff like this. And yeah, but either way, these things didn't sit well with me. And then comes the next part where the whole thing with the tentacle comes up. And again, he again makes like a whole wrong decision, even though Laios was like don't, like, like there's some monster in front of us, don't go ahead. He still was like, and Namari even said like, oh, like you better listen to Laios in these type of situations. He didn't listen. Again, he was probably like, oh, these young people, what do they know? What do they know? I'm so much older, I know everything about it. And he told that other guy to go and take care of it, and he literally get like, like captured by the tentacles and almost dies. And I'm like, come on, man, like you cannot do this. You cannot push people to their to dangerous situations because of your own pride and, like, your ego. And I don't know what his exact plan was, what he was trying to do. Like he was trying to go inside the dungeon. He was probably like here for some kind of a reason. However important that reason is, you cannot just act like this, pushing everyone into danger because of your own like wrong decision makings. Like, like he did this so many times. I was pissed by the end of it. I'm like, come on, man, like this guy's just absolutely like, like, so what can I didn't like that whole part of him just throwing out orders willy-nilly, and then when things get messed up, he's like, oh, what should I do, that kind of attitude. Like, come on. It's just, yeah, that I didn't. And in the end, even though we did see he kind of softened up a little bit, I'm not really okay with people like this. I feel like if we get to see more of him, we'll probably warm up to him. But currently, I still am not, like really that much accustomed to him. Um, and yeah, and the fact that Namari is working for him and Namari really wants to be in their group probably makes me think that yeah, maybe he's not that bad if we get to know him. But still, first impressions was really bad. You know, like I didn't like him at all. But yeah, then again, no, I guess if we spend more time with him, get to see more of him, maybe we'll warm up to him. But yeah, I couldn't like stomach the way he was doing stuff in this episode. He was just so careless and casual, and he just like I don't know. It's just so yeah. You know what? Whatever. I'm gonna stop talking about him. Like his whole attitude didn't sit well with me at all throughout this whole episode. But in the end, like I said, he did soften up, so I guess it's fine. Yeah, and then the next thing, which is Namari. Now, I said this before in the previous episode as well. I'm pretty sure Namari has some. I think they kind of mentioned it here. She's probably does she needs money for some kind of a reason. Obviously, she to put food on the plate and stuff, But then again, I also said something like, yeah, but still, Falin was one of the reason why she survived in that against that dragon. Not only she, but all of us, all of them survived. Falin was the one who like jumped into harm's way to help us out. So, you know, I can understand, needing money and putting food on the table. I can understand all of that. But, just leaving like that in a situation when your friends need you, that's just didn't sit well with me either. And I could agree with Marcel, but like I'm against Namari, I'm not really that much, like that much, what can I say? Yeah, affected because I didn't really know her, but I understand Marcel being very much disappointed in her when she left in that type of situation. Because again, like in the end, we did see like even Chilchak said something um, like doing something for nothing, like with no compensation is something that would make you the least trustworthy in the world. Even though he did say that, like I don't know, they're not really unacquainted with each other. They are a team, and being a team means obviously going through highs and lows together. Like I don't know, like is it just me to expect my teammates to have my back in my time of need, or is it just too much for me to expect that? Like is this a naive way of thinking? Like I said, this is a team we are talking about. We're a group going together into a dungeon. We entrust each others with our lives. So expect like what are you saying when someone like falls into a situation like that, for example like Fallon, if someone just leaves literally after that, not helping us out, like how would that make me feel? Obviously it'll make me feel bad. I would be like, come on man, I trusted you with everything, and now that one of my friends are in danger, you're just going to leave like that? Like so what? Like like all these things, all this trust that we had in each other was for nothing? Like that kind of thing. So I can agree with Chilchak, but I don't know, I don't feel like Chilchak's theory or logic could be applied in this type of situation. Like I said, they're not strangers. Yeah, like Chilchak's thing, I could understand Chilchak's logic if we were strangers with each other, if we didn't know with each other. Yeah, in situations where we're literally in front of a stranger, if a stranger tries to be like like do something without any compensation, I would obviously be I'll be suspicious of them. Makes sense. But against your friends, come on. Like no, like I can see what they tried to do here, but I don't know, I don't agree with this logic. Especially in like in a group in a dungeon, like when you're going with a party should be like a group where each and every person should be able to do anything and everything for your other party members. That is how a good party works. If you think about yourself in a party where like literally cooperation is the thing that binds you together and helps you survive, if you just think about yourself, it's not going to work like that you know but again, like I said, I don't know, I agree with Chilchak's logic, but at the same time I think his application of logic in this situation is not that good. at least I disagree with that. And I don't know, like it's just I disagree with that logic, at least, especially in a situation like this. Because, in a party, I expect my friends to at least be concerned about what's happening, like, cooperate with each other. And in a situation like that, where where we needed help, and we needed the most amount of people to help us out and go to Falin, Namari and that guy left. Now, about that guy though, I'm not really sure what his plan is, because I think Chilchak, like they kind of said, like she liked Falin. So I feel like she's probably trying to do something, as they said, probably trying to save her on his own. So if that's the case, if he's doing something which is related to rescuing Falin, then I guess it's fine. He's like, but he should have told us something. But like the thing with Namari, again, it didn't sit well with me. I can understand everything. I can understand, like, you need to put food on your plate. Maybe she needs money for something and she couldn't, like, really waste time, going in a situation like this where there'll be no, like, return. I could understand all of that. I can understand. But they're a party. Like, that's always hitting my head, because I don't know. This is just what I, like, think. Like, this is, again, like I said, maybe the way I view this is a bit naive. But especially since they're a party, I would expect my friends to have my back when I'm in trouble. That's how a good party works. Like I said, I'm being naive here. Either way, whatever. But yeah, like, at least Marcel, by the end of it, like, was able to forgive Namari, and Namari was also able to, get along better with her. But either way, yeah, in the end, everything worked out. And yeah, so yeah, those two were the main things that I wanted to talk about. That dude, that old guy, good God, he was just completely out of order. Like, especially for the first half of this episode. And then, like I said, he kind of softened up. And then we also have, like, the whole thing with Namari, and the whole situation about rescuing Falin. Like, I don't know. Like, yeah, I'm not really. But you know what? Again, like I said, we don't really know much about her. Let's just wait and see whether she has a real reason that's why she left us. Maybe she really needed money and stuff. But then again, like I said, like, she could have told, if she really had some kind of a problem, she really needed money or something, she could have told that party. She could have told us. She have told that to Laios and our group, and genuinely say that, oh, you know what, I would love to help you, but this is my problem. And it would have, like, ended in a way better manner than her just leaving abruptly. Like, it's just so weird. Yeah, like, if she really, there was really, like, one of the, like, very good reason for her to leave the party, if there was something that she, like, like, she had to do, and that's why she had to leave our party, or something like that, if she really needed money, she could have told us that. Like, I would at least expect that from her. The fact that I don't think she told anything to Laios and, like, Marcel, she just left like that abruptly, saying something like, oh, I cannot spend time like this without getting anything, like, in a situation like this, cannot, like, entrust my life in a dangerous situation like this. So I feel like that makes it even worse. That makes the situation with Namari even worse. Like, if she really had something that she wanted to say, she could have told us that. Like, leaving like that is, I don't know, I feel like it's bad. So yeah, either way, let's wait and see. Like, yeah, Namari is okay, but I don't know, I still have a little bit of a, yeah, but we'll see. And she did help us today, and, like, in a good way, she literally saved Marcel's life in a way. So yeah, I guess that kind of, that kind of nullifies the other thing that she did. But still, okay, either way, yeah, that was today's episode. Good episode. And another interesting thing we got to know in today's episode is the whole thing with the dungeon, where how, if someone dies, their soul is trapped to the body. And that is why, if you are able to bring the body back, the soul will be able to go back, which is very interesting. So I didn't realize this. So this only happens in the dungeon. As they say, in the dungeon, death is forbidden. That's why this happens. Unless until your body gets completely destroyed, the soul is going to get stuck to it. So that is why they can use resurrection and bring people back. That brings up a question. Does this mean in the outside world, people normally die? And if they get into some kind of an accident and they die, their souls will, like leave them. Obviously, that's what it means then. So in the dungeon, you cannot die, that means. Outside, if someone stabs you or something, you're going to be dead, I guess. It cannot resurrect them. That is one question that suddenly popped up in my head. I don't know. I'm guessing they'll probably confirm this in the future, maybe. But another thing, like we have just been lurking around in the dungeon. We don't even know much about the outside world now that I think about it. We just know that in the outside world there's like obviously like maybe like towns and villages, and then we have the freaking dungeon where we go in. So we don't really know much about the outside world as well. Unless and until we get to know more about the outside world, I don't think we'll have this answer of whether death is actually a thing outside. I'm pretty sure it is. So death only doesn't work in this dungeon. Like as soon as you enter the dungeon, you won't die. And even if you die, you can just resurrect them back, I think. I don't know. So that would automatically make anyone who dies outside the world, they'll remain dead. I don't know. Like I said, we need to get to know more about the outside world. If unless and until we know that, I don't think we'll be able to get a proper answer to this question at least. Okay, and yeah, that was like that was the important things in today's episode, obviously. And then Marcel gets the Undine water, cooks food with it, and then gets her mana back. And yeah, there you go. Right, that was this episode. Now let me talk about this episode scene by scene. In the first section, we get to see Namari and her new group coming down, and yeah, Namari sees them and recognizes them, and she's like, "Oh, this is Zios's group." And they come down, and she's like, "Oh, these are my former party members." And the people she is working for now are they work like these two. They work as someone's personal scholars. What are their names? Mr. and Mrs. Tansu. Okay. And they're personal scholars, and they're like, they pay well, all that stuff she's saying. And Marcy's like, come on, Namari, like, you can say stuff like that. How can you act like this after just leaving us? Okay, here we go. This is where Namari says, I simply refuse to walk into the jaws of death for free. Here we go. Am I misunderstanding something? Was she like a mercenary or something who just worked for us for money? Wasn't she our party member? Because this is so absurd and bizarre. Like everything that I played, all the animes that I've seen, all the games that I've played and everything, a party consists of a group of people who entrust each other with their lives, and obviously the stuff that they get, they like divide it amongst each other. So acting like this, having this type of attitude inside of a dungeon, that I simply refuse to walk into the jaws of death for free, is going to be very dangerous, especially in situations where you have to put your life in other people's hands. Making a party in a dungeon, going in a dungeon and clearing the floors, literally means you're putting your life in your comrade's hands. That is literally. A party wouldn't work without one person who should be there. There needs to be a tank, there needs to be a supporter, there needs to be like a healer, there needs to be a DPS, and someone like Chilchak who who's like I'm guessing like a thief or a rogue. Like every class that is in a party is important. The most important ones being a tank, a healer, and a DPS. These three are the most important ones. Sometimes we need a sorcerer as well for the extra DPS. Like these four at least are the most important. And then we have like some other random classes like thief and what else? Thieves are also important, to lockpick and look for traps and stuff. So it's important. Every single person needs to put their lives in the other person's hand. So saying something like this is simply so bizarre to me. She says something like, I simply refuse to walk into the jaws of death for free. Like, I don't know. Like, what she said here makes me think that is she a mercenary or something? If she was like an actual party member, why would she say something like this? like I said, this whole like logic that she's using here doesn't sit well with me at all. If they really were a party, I don't know. I feel like this way of thinking is in no way good for a party that is going through life and death situations. Even though death really doesn't mean anything in this show, still, like I'm just so confused. Like like I've never seen anyone in a party say something like this. At least, either way, yeah, I'm guessing. Whatever. I don't know. Like, and she says, "I simply refuse to walk into." Okay. And Marshall is pissed, but however, Marshall is like, hurt. Right. So there you go. So, but anyway, like I said, anyways, I'm going to move on for this whole discussion because I can clearly see there's like a very big difference in the way I see this whole thing and how Namari sees this. And I feel like Marcel probably sees it in a similar way that I see it, and Laios as well. Not sure about Chilchak though. I feel like Chilchak is just like like a lot more logical in that sense. Um, but I don't know. I'm just trying to think. If something happens to Namari, I'm sure Marcel would be there to help her, and would definitely be. So seeing and Falin would also be there to help her. So seeing Namari not doing that for Falin, it's actually making me angry. That is why. That is what's probably bothering me so much, because the way she's treating this, she's like, oh, like I couldn't go into the jaws of death for free. I'm sure Falin and Marcel would have done the same for you if you were in Falin's place. I'm sure, like we would have made a party and we would have gone to help you out. I doubt Falin would have said something like that you are saying, or Marcel would have said something like that. That is what is not sitting well for me. I think, the way she treats this in such a like a like a casual manner, like like, oh, like, yeah, something like that. So yeah, anyways, I'm like I said, I'm going to move on from this whole discussion. Like, yeah, either way. So Laios is like, my friend needs treatment. Do you have like a like a healer and stuff? And this dude is like, doesn't really help us out at all. And he's like, oh, we don't do charity, this and that, like all that stuff, which is understandable. Obviously, these guys are strangers to us, but for Namari, like taking a stance like that with us, who we are literally party members with, it doesn't sit well with me, but yeah, these guys are practically strangers to us, so I can understand that, as he says, handing out charity in a dungeon just sets you up to be taken advantage of. But yeah, okay, either way, they move on, and then this guy, he's like, when Laios tries to warn them about the Undine, he's like, oh, we have been living alongside gods and spirits in ancient times, we'll take care of it. And then they go, and he realizes that it's not going to work. And yeah, the Undine just shoots through, and he uses, Mr. Tansu uses Namari as a shield and gets shot here. So there you go. And I'm like, dude, like Laios literally told you. And I'm guessing, like he probably thought that, oh, he didn't realize that the Undine was enraged. And he thought he could take care of it. That is why, listen to people, like even if you're an old man, old wise man, just listen, please. Like he was too confident in his whole thing, and he just left on his own and didn't even listen to us properly. And then this freaking thing happened. And yeah, and then he just resurrects Namari. And there you go. And here again, this another thing, like I said, the way they look at death is so bizarre. So stuff like this, which is so outrageous for him, is like a normal everyday occurring. So he doesn't literally care that he used Namari as a shield. He started like, like this is what happens when something like this, like death doesn't exist in this dungeon. You try to start to take death for granted, which is obviously not good. And this is something that Senshi doesn't like, and Senshi said something like, yeah, this is why I'm against resurrection. It's not a pleasant sight to witness, like outside the dungeon. Yeah, okay, there you go. It's kind of confirmed here when Laios says outside the dungeon, sure, but here it's normal. So outside people actually die. Okay. Um, And yeah, and essentially like this is not normal. It is not normal, Laios. And here, Mr. Tansu explains what actually happens in this dungeon. So basically, it's under very powerful enchantment. Uh, if your injuries can be mended, you can be revived, and the souls are literally entrapped and like chained in with you. So death in this place is forbidden. It's a dreadful curse, and yeah. So that is what actually happens here. Okay, so okay, he kind of explains here. He came here to investigate the magic circle. Okay, so he's like, I need help. Can you guys, come with me, and then I'll heal your companion. So, which is a fair enough trade. So, Senshi and Laios went with him, and yeah. So there's like a few tentacles here and there. So they were like cutting the tentacles here. Namari kind of talks to Laios about his sword, and also Senshi about his weapon, how it's chipped, and yeah. So all that stuff, and Lyle says like, like you're the only one I can trust in stuff related to the weapon. I can trust you or your skills. Either way, when this was happening, his sword starts tingling. Obviously, the thing inside the thing inside of it detected a monster in front of them, and yeah. So Laios is like, I don't think we should go in front. And Namari was like, yeah, I believe in Laios's like, sixth sense or whatever. But this old guy, he's like, oh, it's fine, we can lure it out. Doesn't listen again, and tells that other guy to go forward, and he gets trapped with the tentacles. He was almost dying, and Laios kind of explains how the tentacles, when they hit you, like those things paralyze you, and yeah, so you cannot do anything. So Laios is like, okay, you know what? Let me do this. So he takes Senshi's helmet and he goes forward and attacks the tentacles. Doesn't work. Grabs Senshi and pulls him up. What Senshi was planning to do here, not Senshi, sorry, why am I calling him Senshi? Laios. Grabs Laios and pulls him up. So what Laios was planning to do here was to untangle the crossbow that was also entrapped over there. The crossbow falls down and Senshi grabs it and throws it towards Namari. And Namari uses the crossbow to get the core. And there you go, it worked out. Teamwork. So yeah, but Laios's face is just like like inflamed completely. It's just like puffing up because of those tentacles. Either way, they come back, and I love how I knew Senshi was going to grab one of the tentacles to probably cook it for later, and he has brought it. So he's like, he reads the book about the tentacles, and he's like, okay, what we should do is take out this outer bark. So he takes it out, and it looks like a literal banana, even though I doubt it tastes like a banana. And they use like vinegar to kind of like use it and like entangle it, and then Senshi starts eating it raw. And Lars is like, "Oh, give me some," and she eats it, and he's like, "No, like like different parts like taste like different." And he gives Chiljak that, and Chiljak also eats it. And then they give Marcel that, Marcel also eats it. And Nama is like, "The hell is happening here? Why are they eating a monster tentacle?" And they give it to Nama, and Nama is like, "Nope, I ain't eating this." And they're like, "Ah, it tastes so nice. We can cook it, we can grill it, we can do so many things with it." Okay, so then after that, the this guy, I forgot his name again. He heals Marcel, and Marcel gets up, and Marcel's like, "You know what? I'm feeling a lot better." But obviously, her mana hasn't been replenished, you know. So yeah, and then we can see Marcel and Namari kind of getting into a little argument here. Yeah. Okay. So after that, obviously, Mr. Tansu, that's his name, yeah. He asks them like, what happened that Undine is so furious? So basically, obviously, we tell us what happened. She poured boiling water, and that's why he's like, okay, that's why. So how do we take care of this? According to them, the Undine is consisted of like smaller, like like little spirit particles. I think that's what they said. Smaller individuals, yeah, collective of tiny spirits. So what we have to do is that if the individuals comprising it naturally dies off, the hostility will fade away, and new generations will emerge. And the lifespan of a spirit is a week at most, so we cannot do anything up until that. Obviously, Marcel's like, I cannot do that. We have to go and save Fallon. And they're like, all right, you know what? We should leave for now. Mr. Tansu and his group. At which Laios is like, oh, can I ask you for a favor? Can you take Marcel out with you? Marcel's like, why? So obviously, like as Laios said, like Marcel doesn't have enough mana, but we know how much Marcel wants to save Fallen. So she's not happy about this, but she also understands that she actually doesn't have enough mana, and something like that. So, and then obviously another big question comes up: if Marcel leaves, what will these three do? You know, like like in no way can they go and save Fallen on their own. At which Marcel is like, come on, Namari, you have defeated dragons before. Please help Laios's party. And she's like, find a way to gather the funds. You don't have to worry about anything. But she's like, no. The reason behind it is, as Chilchak says, that since within adventurers, stuff like spreads quickly in rumor forms. The fact that she left our party obviously made a bad impression, but now if she comes back to our party again because we gave money to her, like her whole reputation is going to get completely tarnished. Not only that, she will start attracting a different set of clientele, people probably who would want her to do dirty stuff, like like killing people or like betraying others, that kind of thing. Like that whole set of people is going to be attracted to her, and she will, like, it's going to completely go in a different direction. And yeah, she doesn't want that, obviously. So she'll do anything for the right price. That will become the norm. And so that is why she cannot do that. Like, it's going to be very difficult. Either way, Marcel then, without like real like knowing what to do, then she's like, okay, you know what, one thing I can do, if I drink the Undine, I can get the mana from it. So the question is, how do we do that? We're not even able to defeat it. How are we able to capture the Undine and like drink it? So Laios comes up with a few theories. None of them actually is going to work. One of the theory was kind of interesting and it might have worked, which was like, when he said that when the Undine attacks, we dodge it, and then when the water in the ground, we kind of lick it up or something. I feel like that was like the best one, but then again, as Laios said, it wouldn't work because the Undine is going to just make holes in your body inside of you. So we need to actually properly kill it and then drink the whole thing. So it's going to be difficult. So what should we do? At first, Marcel was like, oh, can we use this pot that Senshi has? And at first they were like, in no way is it possible. Undines are powerful, it can destroy this. But then when Namari takes a close look at the pot, she realizes it's made of adamantine. And the funny reason why it's made of adamantine is because, as Senshi said, it was a shield before I made it into a pot, because because I didn't need a shield anymore. So it's very obvious, it's very strong, adamant or adamant. I think that's what they call it here. So and she's like, yeah, if we use this, then we can do something. So the plan is, Lance is going to have one, Senshi is going to have one. They're going to capture the Undine like this, kind of, like entrap it. But obviously, Laios is not strong enough for that. Like Senshi is strong and tough, but Laios cannot do that. So Namari was kind of concerned about that, and the old man saw that. And when the time came when they were like fighting against the Undine, you can see Laios literally gets just completely swept out, even though Senshi was holding it. Laios couldn't do it. Laios was completely getting like wiped away by the whole thing. And Namari was concerned, so the old man told her to go and help. So Namari goes there and takes the pot from Senshi and traps the Undine, puts it on top of the flame, and like waits for it to die. And it worked. So yeah, there you go. We have Undine water now. So drinking it directly, when Marcel drinks it, it doesn't work properly because it's like potent mana potion, literally. It's not going to work like that. It's it's going to be difficult for your body to absorb that. So Senshi's like, don't worry about it. To make it easy, we're going to cook food and eat alongside with it so that it recharges the mana. and it worked. They made the undine water into the water they're going to use for cooking. So they used kelpie meat, they used the tentacles, they used obviously seasonings and stuff, and made the water into the water where they're going to boil the food in. So the undine water like seeps in into the food, and kind of nourishes it with like mana enriched whatever. And yeah, and Marcel's the one who kind of cooked it properly. Then she helped, obviously, and then they started eating. It's literally nikujaga, that they made, and yeah, they made it and they ate it. And Marcel ate it, and Marcel's like, okay, this is working. So they give it to. This part is kind of funny because they give it to Namari, and when Namari looks at it, it's like this bland food, just like wilted, like those vegetables are all wilted. The meat is just like dull, and the water is like brownish in color. And I'm like, what the hell happened? It was looking so vibrant and nice. What happened to the food? And then I realized what they were doing here is like that's how she looked at the food. But when she ate it, and she's like, oh, this is quite tasty. And she looks back at it and it's like all colorful and everything. So that was just her way of looking at the food. At first, she wasn't happy about eating it. That's why they were showing it like that. But then when she ate it and she was like, oh, this is quite tasty. She, she started looking at it in a different light. Either way, she asks Senshi for, like, she says that I'm sorry, Senshi. I kind of said bad things about your acts, and I guess it makes sense why she was apologizing because Senshi is a dwarf, and dwarves obviously, like, they are people who are more like blacksmiths, and they take care of like weapons and stuff. So like Namari probably thought that it was insulting to say something like that to a dwarf's weapon. At which sense she's like, don't worry about it. Even though I'm a dwarf, like I have always been someone who wasn't good with weapons or type of ore. So people used to say this about me. I don't mind. Like I'm different from the other dwarfs. I know that, which it kind of makes sense because obviously he was more. He wanted to cook. He probably is someone who wants to cook food and everything, and he doesn't want like like making like weapons and stuff. He's just a dwarf who has like a different type of a hobby, who's not like who doesn't like or doesn't is not that much interested in making weapons and stuff. So yeah, that's why, and he's like, it's fine, don't worry about it. It is true, my weapon is kind of worn out, so yeah. And then Namari is like tells her his like his party like Mr. Tansu, he's like, I just don't want to be a mercenary and a hired hand. I want to be accepted as one of you. This line, like, what the hell? Couldn't she have done that with us? Like, I really don't understand this girl. Like, literally, like she literally left us in our time of need, and now she's saying this to this guy. She's like, I want to be accepted as one of. What? Like, this thing, I was exactly talking about this. Like when you are a party inside of a dungeon, you're not a hired hand or a mercenary. You have to be accepted as one of the party members. You have to be ready to lay down your life for the other people. That's how it works. You put your life in the other party member's hands. It doesn't work as if you're a mercenary. It's not going to work like that. That's what I'm saying. And she's also saying that now, but to Mr. Tansu. And I'm like, couldn't you have done that with us? Like, I don't understand this girl, really. I'm just like, whatever. I guess maybe she understood it now after all this time. And the party that she is in with now, she's saying it to us. Like, she probably didn't see it like this up until now. That's why she just was looking at the profit and loss part of it. But we need to understand, when you are in a dungeon, you shouldn't look at the profit and loss. You are literally here fighting against death. You should be ready to put your life in others' hands and others' life in your hands. That is how it works. That is how a good party works. So her understanding this now at this point, maybe that is why she's telling it to them. But I'm just like like, what can I say? I don't know. Like she could have she could have understood this a little bit earlier. That she probably would have been with us. That's all that I'm saying. Either way, Mr. Tansu is like, okay, like he also kind of accepts, and um Namari is like, okay, she gives the food to him. Mr. Tansu also eats a little bit. And here Namari asks Chilchak that why are you here? I thought you would be the first person to leave. And he's like, oh no, the problem is that I cannot walk away when situations like this arise. That is also part of my job. So I can respect that. Obviously he's like dutiful. He's like, yeah, in this type of situation, I was with them. So like running away just because the situation is bad, it doesn't excuse that. This is my job and I'll do my job. That's how he looks at it, which is also respectable, like he's doing this because of duty. And I can understand. Obviously, Marcel and Laios is doing this for their emotional connection to Falin. They're good friends and family. That is why. While Chilchak is doing this for his duty, and I'm sure he also like is good friends with them. That's why he also wants to help them. I'm sure that also exists. So that is their like whole thing. Not for friends or for friendship. And okay, this part I heavily disagree with Chilchak here, at least for this point. I can understand this against strangers, but using this logic here, I don't know. I cannot agree with it. He says that let me tell you something important. Folks who came, they don't need anything in return are the least untrustworthy in this world. Here we go. Yes, I agree with it, but that only works against strangers. You guys have been dungeon crawling for a long time. Again, like I said, as a party member, you are supposed to be trusting in your friends. If you don't have that little amount of trust in your friends, like it's going to be bad when you are in a life and death situation. And that is what breaks a party. So his logic makes sense in the outside world against strangers, not here. So I cannot agree with like Stilchak's logic, at least with us. Amongst us, I don't think his logic works here, or at least I cannot accept it. How he says that, oh, like people who give you something for free are the least trustworthy in the world. Like, yeah, it only works against strangers. You cannot use this logic against your friends. Just think about like if you like just think about this. You have a very good friend, who has been with you for a long time, and you're good friends. Can you say something like this to your friend that, oh, let me tell you something important. Folks who came, they don't need anything in return, are the least trustworthy in this world? Can you say that to your friend? Just think about it. No, you cannot. That is what a friend is. What is a family is. Like, they give you stuff for, literally nothing. When you're in need, they help you out for no return. That is what it means to be a friend and a family. So I can understand his logic working against strangers, not in this situation. If he looks at our group as a friend group, if they if he really it's good friends with everyone here, Marcel, Laios, Senshi, then I don't know. I don't think his logic would work. Amongst friends, this is not going to work. So I kind of disagree with Chilchak here. Let me know. Like the place where he's using this logic is wrong. You're telling this to your friends, no. Either way, and then they talk about Shuro, the guy. And okay, so I'm guessing this guy, what's up with this guy is that he's trying to do it in a different way. He's trying to say Falin in a different way. And that's what Namari says. He seemed to have another contact to reach to her, and she was in so much in love with Falin, and he wanted to propose to her. That's why he's probably trying to help her out on his own way, which I guess is fine. At least he hasn't abandoned her or anything like that. But if he worked with us, I feel like it would have been a better thing. But maybe he has his reasons. Maybe that's why he's working solo. Who knows? We'll get to know more when we get to see him. He's probably still desperately searching for her. Laios had no idea. Laios is like, wait, what? I didn't know that. And Marcel is like, and Chilchak is like, bruh, you're so oblivious. Okay, and then they bid goodbye to each other. And yeah, they will go on their own way. So there you go. That was this episode. Like I said, this episode had a few sections that I wasn't really able to properly accept, from the bottom of my heart. Because, like my way of looking at dungeon crawling and your party members is a completely different way, the way Namari sees it, I feel like. And I feel like in the end she understood the true essence of it. But I'm just thinking, I'm like, come on, man, you could have, like, if you understood this a little bit earlier, you could have been with us. But yeah, it's too late, I guess. um and yeah, like that's why there's a few things that I have my own gripes about. But like, but I'm more of the way I feel like the way Farlin, not Farlin, sorry, yeah, Farlin, Martial, and Lyos, the way they look at dungeoning and like the way they care about their friends, that's more of my way of looking at it. So that is why Namari's point of view and the way she sees this whole thing completely clashes with my way of looking at it. So yeah, something like that. But you know what? We cannot do anything at this point. So yeah, we move on. At least she helped us out this time and helped Marcel out in a big way. And that is where it ended. So that is it. That was my reaction to this episode, episode 9 of Dungeon Meshi. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, or you haven't subscribed. Comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know. I'll check them out. And yeah, that is it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next week with another episode of Dungeon Meshi. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.